Hello, everybody. It is absolutely wonderful to welcome whoever this is watching to our second episode of the Turning of the Ages Mystery School Seed People Spotlight. My name is Naraya. I am the media coordinator for the school, and you can find out all about this school at turningoftheages.com, as always, which is a real wonderful treasure trove of free information and webinars, courses, all kinds of things. So take a look up there. Today, it's my absolute joy, delight, and pleasure to be here with the wonderful Lizzie Kay Moon. Welcome, 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 Lizzie. Lizzie is not only a premium member of our school, but also on the path of getting fully certified as a TOTAMS Astrologer, which is really wonderful. We are sharing this path at the moment, her and I. Lizzie does a whole host of other things, and I hope she's going to tell us a little bit about it. And as you can see from the wonderful background there, she also has a very special magical place that she shares a lot with other people. And yeah, without any further introductions, Lizzie, will you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, yes, thank you. And it's so good to see you always, Naraya, from across the world. Yes, so my name is Lizzie Kay Moon, and I live in Goodyear, Arizona. And I live in this fabulous underground dome home that is on 5 acres of land and adjacent to the Estrella Mountain Regional Park. So my background is miles and miles of acres and acres of mountains. And Estrella Mountains, of course, I'm in the Star Mountains, I'm under the stars. So that just came to me after I started studying astrology. I'm like, oh, wait, I'm in the stars, around and above and below. So I've lived here for a couple of years, and I have on the property, I call it Soul Lounge Spirit Retreat. And I have all kinds of different gatherings. We do meditations and sound baths, and another TOTAMS astrologer comes here quite often, and that'll be part of my story of how I got into the school to provide his sound journeys here under the stars and in the Star Mountains. And I also do integral breath therapy and somatic sensing. So that's my private practice, and another way that I weave these modalities in together. And then I have 2 dogs. I'm happily individuated in my life. Is that a good way of saying it?
I guess
I live here.
yeah.
Yes, I live here
also with the dog. So if anyone hears any barking, this is a very real life, unsanitized live chat and recording here. So both Lizzie and I are having 2 dogs each in our care at the moment, and they do bark once in a while. So yes.
That's how it is when we do these virtual meetings, right? We get to let in on people's personal lives. So what else can I tell you? Oh, my other thing that I do on my other side of my life, I guess this is my Mars and Scorpio, Daniel says, is I lead a band. I sing lead in my own band called the Lizzie Moon Band. And so we have a great time doing that. I kind of step out of all my studies and my heady work and go get in front of a band and sing. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, I have to say here that I've had the privilege of experiencing all of that live already, because after we met for the first time at the recent annual TOTAMS gathering in Oracle in Arizona, and we became friends very quickly. I had the pleasure and privilege to stay and live basically with Lizzie for a couple of weeks, and it was absolutely magical, and I have the joy to return there again very soon and meet her again. So yeah.
Interject here. I'm
no,
very
one other thing I really would like you to speak into, and that is you also have a stone circle on your land.
Yes, I do. And I was just going to say one thing about you living here. I have almost made a proclamation that I won't be living with anybody, but I love living with you, Naraya. So we just seem to work it out very well. So I'm
Mm.
excited about you coming back and sharing in some of the events, and we'll talk about that later too. Yes, I have a stone circle. So this is a great segue, I think, into even how I got into the school. So over a year ago in May, I went to a concert in a town close to here, and John Dumas was playing there, and he's another shamanic astrologer. But I didn't know that at the time. I was just there for the music. And so later on in the year, I invited him to come do a concert at Soul Lounge Spirit Retreat, um, to just for the sound journey, again, having no idea that I would be diving into the shamanic astrology part of his life too. So that was in October of last year, almost a year ago. So he came, and no, he didn't come. There was a big storm, so he couldn't come. That was Scorpio season. I don't know if anybody remembers that. A lot of people around here really remember October of last year. So he couldn't come, but he came in November. And so November is the time that I got my first reading as well, my first chart reading by John. And when he was here, and I'll tell more about that later too, but while he was here, I showed him this cute little rock circle that I had made because I like doing rock art, you know. And he was kind of like, well, this is really sweet, but we should make you a circle that works. And I went, ooh,
What's that,
yeah,
right?
I like that, whatever it is. So he came back in December, and we gathered a few people from the community. We had about 10 people, and set out to find the perfect spot to build our own circle. And it ended up being up on the side of our mountain here. So the day we set out, you know, it was just that intuitive sense about where's the perfect place. The center stone seemed to already be there. The stones we needed were all just laying around, of course, nearby. And so within a few moments, we had a circle built. And this was after ceremony. I mean, John played his flute to the four directions and the above and the below. And it was just really beautiful. So in a matter of a few minutes, we had a circle, a stone with the 12 points. But then, you know, it has to be lined up, you know, with the sunrises and sunsets. And so that was November. So by December solstice, right, I was out with the sunrise, checking the alignment with the sunrise and our plumb line with a rock on a string and lining it up, to get the sunset just right. Well, once you have that, then you have west, then you have north and south. So it's really been a way of bringing in the above and the below and being able to interact with it. It's not a stone circle that you just set and forget. You know, you interact with it, activate different sections. It's a beautiful place for meditation, just sitting up there and looking out over the mountains and the city and everything else. So there's been a lot of energy that has been created since that stone circle was created on this land. So I appreciate you mentioning it. And yeah,
I think this is actually the perfect place to also bring in that we do have the amazing opportunity to meet up very soon live on the land at a place where there is such a wonderful, amazing stone circle, which is at Faywood Hot Springs, where we have our next in-person live gathering, October 11th to 15th, which is actually for the purpose of witnessing the annular solar eclipse on October 14th. And so we have booked everything at the Faywood Hot Springs Resort. All the cabins are booked out, but if anyone is interested, we still have a wonderful RV and camping space available. And I understand that there will also be day passes. So if anyone is actually local, even though that's pretty much out of nowhere, but close to Silver City, if I'm not mistaken, then there's also an opportunity, I think, for October 13th to just join us for the day. There will be some talks by Daniel Giamario, who is, as many of you will know, the founder of the Turning of the Ages Mystery School. And as is the custom in our school, maybe also some live music and some other little surprises and ceremony up at that wonderful stone circle. I'll actually put the link to the article Daniel wrote about the stone circle, and there's also a guided video tour. I put that below later on in the description box of this video as well. So anybody still wants to join, welcome. You'll have the chance to also meet Lizzie and myself and Daniel and many other wonderful, how can we say, tribe members? No, not really. What would we say? Family members?
Yeah, it feels like it.
Outlanders that are in one way or the other connected with the school will be gathering there. And yeah, we're really looking forward to that. So,
Well, speaking of that, you know, and weirdos, because I don't really like going anywhere. I love my space and just want to stay here for the most part. But I will get in a car and drive for hours to go meet with seed people to stand under an eclipse.
yeah.
And it's important, you know, I don't know, that's important enough to get me packed up and in a car. So I'm looking forward to being with you. And I felt the same way in April when I got there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm among 20 people talking about their Mars and their Venus. I found my place.
Yeah, and that was the very first time you met anyone. For me as well, it was the very first time we met anyone in person. And if we have talked about this a lot in the meantime, and I think for both of us, it was just absolutely astounding that we found ourselves in this group of people where there was so much diversity, and yet, as I called it at the time and still call it, there was no side shooter. There was harmony in this group. There was collaboration, and it was quite magical, really magical. So I'm greatly looking forward to the Faywood Hot Springs. And by the way, it's I've been there already. It's a wonderful hot springs. We'll be soaking in those hot, wonderful mineral waters under the night sky and really enjoy ourselves there. So that's also part of this event. It's going to be quite stunning, I believe.
I'm looking forward to some water. As you know, we're kind of short on water around here. So that will
yes, absolutely. But it's also probably here right now, bringing in the event that you have planned, Lizzie. We can certainly mention that as well, because here we talk about stone circles. There's one at Faywood. There is one on your wonderful hillside or mountainside. So please tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, well, I took the opportunity, since Daniel was going to be back in the state, my state, for another visit. Oh, wait, we have to create an event and invite Daniel to come speak. And so we have created Soul Light Spirit Retreat Day on October 28th. And we will be featuring several wonderful guests, including Naraya, who is going to lead us. This is another part. I don't know if many people know about you. We're going to flip this interview around a little bit, maybe. And she is I call it a laughter leader. At least this is the role she'll be playing for us on that day. One of the many roles, I'm sure, and lead us in a laughter session, which is so much fun. And I know that we all laugh and we think, come on, I can laugh, but it's a different thing to be taken through a session and guided in it, and especially together. Wow, it's so much fun to laugh with each other. And then Daniel will speak with us, and I'm hoping probably on the great turning of the ages that we're in. And then John DeMoss is going to come back and give us another sound journey. And then the Lizzie Moon Band is going to play at night. Wow. And some other events and offerings that'll be happening that day. So again, if you're local in Arizona, or if you're coming to the Faywood gathering and still have some travel time or whatever after that, please come and join. I definitely have camping space here, so you're welcome to set up your RVs. But we can put a link to that too in the chat if you want to. But
well, I'll certainly say it's worth a journey from far to join that. And it's also something I really, really look forward to. So anything else you want to add to that? Obviously, we'll put those links in the description box below as well, so that you know where you can find Lizzie and where you can find that event. So that's going to be great for all of us again to come together and have some other people who have not had anything to do with the school and come to Lizzie's events for all kinds of reasons, and also for the wonderful, breath work and sound healing work that she does as well, which I've hugely benefited from and really look forward to benefit from again. So that's going to be a really kaleidoscopic, colorful day, I suppose, with lots and lots of community building and fun. And so,
And I just want to add here that, really I just feel very deeply, that it's so important. Oh, I'm going to tear up.
Great.
Important to have this time with all of you, but especially with Daniel when he's here. I mean, I really respect and honor a lot of the work that he's done and what he teaches. And so I'll stop there because I can't talk anymore.
No, I get you, because I mean, you and I both and so many other people have been hugely and deeply touched by the work he does, by the teachings he has developed. Much of it flies all over the world, and sometimes people don't even know where it comes from. Sometimes he might suffer from not getting credited for his work, but so it is. I think for as long as it really benefits people and their lives and the unfoldment of their soul's journey, because this is what this paradigm is all about. It's a developmental approach. It's not a static thing. This is how you are or who you are, but this is the intention of your soul and the path you can travel, and the tools you have to aid you on your travels into the direction of your intention in this lifetime. And that is just hugely helpful. I think I've said it before, I never ever intended to study astrology ever, because it didn't apply to me, what I knew of conventional sun sign astrology. But then when I found my way to the school, that very quickly changed, and it's just deeply impacting me. And I know yourself as well, and so many people you are already supporting with this in your daily life, and that's just really, really amazing. So would you like to go a little bit more into, I mean, you've already mentioned you came to the school via John, and then you came to the event. Is there anything else you would like to add to that bit of the story?
Yeah, and you actually just, another beautiful segue into why this school is so impactful and this paradigm of astrology is so impactful. Because I had been very interested in astrology before, and I think, many of us have read our horoscopes and wondered if it applied, and maybe sometimes it did and sometimes it didn't, And in fact, I even started reading them after the time passed to see if it was true. To see if what the horoscope said had actually happened. Like, I'm trying to prove it to myself. And it didn't always really work. So I thought, I'm going to study this. I'm going to study astrology. And so, having no idea that there were many different styles, many different types of wheels, I had no idea. I'm just going to study astrology. So, you start with Aries, and then you get to about Virgo, and you give up because it doesn't make really any sense. And it's, at least it just felt like memorizing a lot of details and personality things that, might apply or might not. And so I get bored, kind of, right? But then when I got my reading in November, and John knew he could say this to me, but before we went for my reading, he said, "All right, ready to have your ass kicked?"
Well, it can be like that.
Yeah, and I was. So I'm like, let's do it. And this was after, well, before we had built the circle, but it gave me such an objective view. I've been on a spiritual bath for a while. I can sit on my cushion and get my messages and all the stuff, of course, but there's still a wondering, right? There's still a, is it this? Is it that? I don't know. I feel this way. I feel that way. But once I got the objective view onto what you said, my soul's in current life intent, I went, well, I looked at my chart. I can clearly stop doing that, or at least try to heal that part. And then I can actually lean into these energies if I choose. Well, that's going to change things. And it did. I mean, my life is I'm not completely changed. I still live here, all that. But where I come from, meaning my mission, my purpose, what I'm here, I'm much more clear about what I'm here to do, like how I got here, why I'm doing all of this. For instance, I have a Virgo moon, and if you don't know anything about the school, learn more. I have a Virgo moon and a Virgo job in this life, right? And so what parts of my lineage can I use in my current, job here in the sacred space that I'm forming? So I just went, oh my gosh, the chart is saying my life. So it was like true and authentic. It wasn't just a personality thing, like, well, sometimes I'm this way and sometimes I'm not. And it still held free choice. I could choose to lean into my ascendant or not. I could choose to look at my or not. Nothing about this is going to happen or you must or else or any of that. And it's so empowering. Now, yeah, there's still the process you have to go through in your personal life where you have to make your boundaries or, do your clearing or whatever. But it really gave me that, again, the objective focus, a clear picture in my chart of what I was doing and why, I mean, look at me, I'm serious about that. It's important,
Well, I certainly, with you specifically, have been able to witness the super fast track transformation you went through from the woman I met in Oracle in April of this year to where and who you are now. I mean, this is really, truly outstanding transformation. I know, obviously, that there is the commitment needed for that as well. And you really brought that to the table and you just absorb everything so deeply, and not only absorb, but then quickly embody it and action everything you need to action in order to really align with your true north, or as we in this paradigm, it's the ascendant really, but with your soul's intention. So it's absolutely amazing and wonderful to witness that transformation, and just to say that that's available for anybody who engages with this paradigm deeply and with that commitment, or some kind of commitment. You don't have to do it all in 5 months like Lizzie did, but you can start. One can start somewhere, and then slowly deepen along the lines and the teachings of
that
the
is
school.
very
I
true.
really love that.
Yes, thank you for that reflection, because that's so true about what can happen and why I said, okay, there is a lot more to this that I need to offer others. Because if I could get that from the little bit I knew about astrology, well, then just a little bit I can share with others is already going to help them. And so it really gave me a lot of, it was like beyond motivation. It's like you just like had to step on that path. And then another little part is through my mentorship with Daniel and through the certification, I get to see that, I have a Venus in Aries. So that actually means commitment and action. So I had to absorb that too. I'm not maybe normally like that way, but I had to go, okay, I have to act to be able to embody my own feminine energies, which is, seemingly a difference, but it's not. It really blends together, and that's what the school shows us: is how can you synthesize all of this? Even that it may seem disparate, how can it be synthesized into the wholeness of you?
And as you were just mentioning, the Venus position, which has a very specific meaning and powerful place in this paradigm. We recently just had one of our September equinox calls that was about what is called in the context of the school the inner sacred marriage. So that is hugely helpful. I'll try to put that in the box below as well, but otherwise everybody can find all of that on the website, should I forget any of those. But in that context, Lizzie, with all the teachings, let's say, that you have been exposed to, or parts of the paradigm that you have been exposed to so far, is there anything that kind of stands out for you, or that you feel that's what impacts you most, or you would like to point out maybe to others?
Yeah, and two come to mind pretty quickly, but the biggest one that I could see on the chart objectively. So here you go. A little bit more about the paradigm is, you know, I always knew I was a Pisces. That's what we mean when we say I'm a Pisces sun, right? So I always knew that part. But seeing on my chart, I have a Pisces stellium. And one of those in the Pisces sign is Chiron. And that has really helped me see where the fracture point is of self-abnegation, of giving up myself to care for others. And that's on many levels, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, everything. So that was one of the really clear parts I could see on the chart. My first reading, I was like, oh, that's why I can't make boundaries. That's why I can't speak, you know, when it might hurt somebody or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well then I need to heal that fracture point. It's not that I have other things in Pisces, so it's not that I'm leaving my compassion or leaving my empathy or my spiritual connection or any of that, but I can't do it to my own detriment. And in this school, you know, that what's helped me the most is the part in the book where it talks about the Pisces being the poison eater, and how the Pisces might go around to the tribe and eat everybody's poison and help heal them and their heart, but they forget to spit out the poison. And so that's been like this, you know, kind of ugly picture that helps me, right? To go, okay, wait a minute, I'm not, you know, going to take in your poison. You know, I can be compassionate, but this is where that stops. So that's been a real help. And I've seen where that has been a part of my life in many areas. And then to figure out that my rising is Sagittarius. I love that. And I've really always felt that. I love that. I just love a day when I can sit and read and study all the astrology and philosophy and all kinds of things that I get into. And I felt, then adding that with the Virgo energies, I really started to see that, you know, and Daniel uses this term that he calls a little antiquated, but the path of the renunciate. And not that I'm not to be with someone or whatever, but I really got to see that, oh, and I was in a nodal return I had no idea of. So I really got to sit and commit. Are you going to commit to this new path? You know, this is your opportunity. Are you going to commit to that? And that might mean that you're on your own, that you are the renunciate, that you are the one climbing the mountains, you know, going where no woman's gone before, being the Amazon Vision Quest, you know, and I had to the next day accept that. Oof, okay. But it showed me that I had really been giving a lot of my energy, time, life, to trying to make relationships work and to be that merge master, right? The one that really wants to deeply merge with people, but it was to my own detriment. And I wasn't
done that. I have a Pisces rising, so I know exactly those shadow aspects that you're speaking about, and they have as well just been to my detriment. And so to understand that more also helps me hugely then to come to peace with, heal, and integrate what I might have decided or done in the past that was to my detriment, and then at the same time open and blossom into these beautiful aspects of the Pisces energy, which is the divine mother, ultimate compassion, I would say, for all of life. You know, you are completely impartial in that. You have compassion for all. and everyone, be they the victim or the villain, right?
Right.
And so that is a big energy in the Pisces mystery school. And when we are giving ourselves away for that, then obviously it doesn't have any effect. But if we can stand strong in our own sovereignty, which is the, you know, also on the other side, of this axis with the Virgo archetype, is also Leo and Virgo are the most about personal sovereignty. We can stand in that and come to life and also to all of our relationships with that and from that sovereignty. Now there we make a difference to ourselves and ultimately to others as well.
Well, and it's been hugely liberating. You
Mm.
know, I mean, I was already divorced, but there was another sticky little relationship that, you know, as the Pisces, you try to make work. And, you know, I really got to, you know, feel into this other path. And it's been, like you said, not only just liberating. Like, I can just drop all the energy I was placing into these areas of my life. And I mean, as you say and have seen, it's really just blossomed since then. So the totems paradigm
Wonderful.
and demonic astrology has, I say it has changed my life. And my life was already, you know, I'd been through a lot of spiritual work and changing and all that too, but literally like just, I don't know how to say that, whatever that is.
Yeah, like that. Just like that. That's the way we can only describe it. You know, it goes beyond the mere confines of words that we might place onto any of these experiences. So, anything else that you would like to add? Otherwise, I have one final question for you.
I don't think so. I feel like we've covered a lot.
Yeah, we've covered a lot in a short time, and I really, really love that. So I know, obviously, and we've mentioned that and made that very clear, that you're a student of the paradigm. At the same time, you know, you have such a clear, amazing understanding of it all gained in a super short time. I don't know how you do it. Yeah, they say so. Yeah, but mine is more intuitive. You know, you really grasp it also from the intellectual angle. So that's great. That's something I hugely admire and appreciate about you. So, is there anything? Yeah, no.
We've had that discussion. I'm like, okay, go visit the celestial and let me know what we need to do on the land.
Exactly. Or bring in the heavens. You get us to earth. Um, is there anything going on in the astrology right now as we speak that you would like to speak into or give, you know, share with others, something that others might want to be aware of? What's going on right now?
Well, I feel like there's a whole lot going on, but I'm also learning, again, the school takes us out under the stars. So we can actually learn what it looks like for, you know, Venus to be rising or, you know, a planet to be in a certain constellation. And so right now I'm enjoying seeing Jupiter and Saturn in the sky together, you know, and from what I could tell, Saturn was kind of in the crotch of the water bear or the belly of the water bear. He's kind of right
Very much in the crutch. I mean, honestly, and I'm in my Saturn return, so this is exactly where Saturn was sitting when I was born. So it's not a bad place, but very interesting to consider.
Yes, it is, right? And then mitigated by Jupiter, that beautiful bright light over in my eastern sky when I see it. So I don't know, I like that balance. I feel like there's a balance, especially right now, you know, Libra time and the eclipse and some of the things that I've listened to and heard about with Libra. And I've got this term that, I don't know, I'm kind of holding personally, and it seems like perhaps in the collective as well, the term of karmic justice, you know, and the balancing scales is also the scales of justice. And that doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to get retribution. I think it just means a balancing of, or coming to terms with, in a way, you know, karma, you know, what has been built and grown so far and how that, what we got to face or see, you know, as we balance those energies. And you know, and I know there's Pluto return just, I think, completed and for the US and Chiron return. So that's always so interesting sitting in this seat, kind of just watching and witnessing how that's playing out in this country, at least. But yeah, for me personally, I'm kind of really leaning into those Libra energies and the broader aspects of what that means. I don't have a lot of Libra in my chart. So that's not true. Jupiter is in Libra, so I really need to think about
that okay, yeah, no, that's
no, that's not right. It's my MC. It's Jupiter's in Cancer, and maybe I'm not looking at those for a reason. So we'll talk about that later. But but so no, I'm
again,
enjoying.
there is so much detail and value to be really derived from each and every part of our charts once we start understanding this paradigm, that it's like it takes a while and maybe forever, I would say, to unpack, for the rest of our lives, to unpack all of that and keep dropping in deeper, keep dropping in deeper, keep dropping in deeper, whether that be into the expression of the divine feminine that we have come in to explore in this lifetime, or the integration of the divine feminine and masculine as what we term the inner sacred marriage, or whatever it is. May it be the Jupiter. I'm also in a Jupiter return right now, right? So whenever the planets come back to their original position or square or opposite, it's a dropping in deeper into these particular archetypal energies, and yet another initiatory opportunity to look and to listen and to, wriggle around within ourselves a little bit. Okay, what might there be left of shadows in this area? What aspects can I integrate? And I just find that super exciting.
I
Super
do too.
exciting.
And maybe that's why I'm really liking this time too, because you just reminded me. I'm in a Jupiter return, and Jupiter is passing my North Node while I'm in a nodal return as well.
Woo.
So, and then we got Saturn on my Sun. So keeping me from, like, I'm in this expansion wave and I'm gonna ride it. But Saturn's like keeping some containment on it too. So I like that mitigation. So that's how I'm leaning into Jupiter now. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And
Now that sounds really great. I think you're well primed in these cycles to express and manifest a lot of beautiful things with your space, in your space, within yourself, and in the way you express yourself and in the way you assist and help others. So I really want to wish you all the very, 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 very best for for your continued path of study. I'm absolutely honored to share it with you and see where it takes us and how we collaborate in that. It's really my joy and pleasure. And I don't know whether you want to add anything. I think I feel really completely complete for now, even though, to be honest, we can chat for hours just to thrive in each other's great good company, which is a hallmark, let's say, of all I have so far, or almost everything I've so far experienced within the school. So it's a beautiful thing to share that with you, Lizzie.
Yes, and that's really what I want to say too, is I just really appreciate, actually before I went to the Oracle gathering, John was here and I was talking about, okay, how can I get, more people knowing about my, whatever, we were talking about business. And he said, well, for him, it's been about meeting key people. And then in a couple weeks, I was meeting key people. And you're one of those key people. And then you end up in my home and we get to collaborate on events. And, we went through quite a lot of drama while you were here, but we're going to have fun while you're here this time. I mean, not that wasn't fun as well, but, we have a lot of exciting things coming up, not only in our studies, but in, some gatherings. There's another gathering in April, I think, that I'll try to make. And just the modalities you'll bring here too. I'm so looking forward to laughing together again. And I just really appreciate our friendship and connection. So thank you.
Thank you, Lizzie, and thank you everybody who's watched to this point, who's hung in here with us. And we really appreciate you being here and engaging with us, with the school in any way you'd like to. That is wonderful. And we'd love to see you on many, many upcoming events. And I'm absolutely sure that in the future, you will see quite a bit of Lizzie Kay Moon in the context of the Turning of the Ages Mystery School. Okay, Lizzie, thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. I'll hug you soon.